The bottom line, if you want to be a great salesperson, the bottom line is get connected to your client on an emotional level, find out what they want, find out why they want it, and then provide it. How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I'm joined by Jim Shorkey. And Jim, you are a really good salesman. We're up to almost 150 videos on this podcast.
Oh, thank you.
One of the things about you that's excellent is your ability to role play live. I was at an event recently and you were role playing with a bunch of car guys through scenarios. And so I had one of the guys there was like, can Jim work this out in any scenario? And I was like, I don't know. Let's put him on the spot. So let's say you were selling real estate and I need to buy a house and the house is $300,000. Let's say it's up in Grove City where I live. That's about the house prices there. How would you go about that process? You've sold cars, but how would you sell real estate? You've sold cars, but how would you sell a different type of thing?
Okay.
So you're hosting an open house, right?
Yeah.
I'm coming into the house to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm Derek Kelly.
Hey, nice to meet you, Derek.
Hey, just thanks so much for throwing this open house today.
Hey, Derek, I'm hard with names. I hate to say it. I'm hard with names. Would you mind if I wrote your name down? I don't want to forget it. How do you spell Derek?
Derek.
Okay. And Kelly?
Yes, Kelly. Yep.
Kelly. Okay. Sometimes I want to put an E in there at the end.
Yep.
So Kelly.
Yep.
And this is your wife, I assume?
Yeah, Laura.
Okay. And how do you spell Laura?
Lora. Yep.
Oh, Lora. Okay.
Yep.
So Laura, and by the way, here's my business card.
Jim Shorkey. Nice to meet you.
Yep. And it's great to meet you. Yeah. I have a lot of ideas about houses. We have houses all over Grove City. And I know that you only want to buy one house. I assume I'm right about this one. And that's fine. But I'd like to ask you a few questions before we start looking at this particular house, because I might have another idea that crops up that maybe you might want to pursue.
Yeah.
Would that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we have multiple houses available. That's my point. It's a great house. I don't want to talk you out of it, but I'd like to take literally 5 minutes to ask you a few questions that are going to help me to help you to get the best possible house for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this process that we call house, shopping for the house, buying the house, owning the house, living in the house, today, tomorrow, try to think about even 10 years from now. The whole house process. Make sense?
Yeah.
What's most important to you?
Oh, man, there's a lot of factors, but I'd say most importantly, I want the house to be sturdy, right? I want the foundation to be strong. I want the house to feel quality, not, oh, man, my foundation just leaked and I have $100,000 of repairs, or the roof's bad, so I need to replace it a year or two into ownership. I want the house to be sturdy and well built.
Would you mind if I write this stuff down? Because I don't want to miss anything. So you want to have a sturdy house, your words, firm foundation, great roof.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yep.
That's most important to you.
Yes.
What is next most important to you?
I would say I also want enough room for my kids. I have 3 kids. We may be done with kids. We may not be. And ideally, I would love for them to each have their own bedroom. We have a bedroom in each of those 3. And so I want a 4-bedroom house, ideally.
Okay. And could I ask your permission, the names of your children?
Yeah. Yep. So we have Josiah, Josiah.
Beautiful. I'm write it down if you don't mind.
Yep. We have Mirabelle. It's a beautiful miracle,
Mirabelle.
And then
Lovely.
we have Ariel, like Ariel, but Ariel. It's like the French version of the mermaid.
Lovely.
Yep.
So nice. 2 girls and a boy.
Yep.
Wonderful. And so we want to have space for them.
Yeah.
Obviously. What's next most important to you?
I would say I own my own business, so I would like to have a spot in the house to just have an office. So people on my team could come work once in a while, but really just a space where I can close the door. I can also go work in my office, but just a space in the house where I could have an office. So I guess enough space in the house where there's extra space left over for a little home office.
So 4 bedrooms and really 5 bedrooms, because the office becomes like a bedroom almost. We had a bedroom, we could turn it into an office. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the office space. What's next most important to you?
This would be more aspirational, but I'd love to at some point find a house that my parents could move into, or like a mother-in-law suite, or an extra, I don't want to add 1 million bedrooms here, but a space where my parents, a guest could come stay in our home.
Okay. Now, do you want to pursue this now, or is this a second house down the road? I want to be clear.
More just like an extra, maybe something I could pursue down the road, maybe an add-on to the home in the future.
Okay,
right?
so maybe a bigger lot. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that what I want to make sure I understand. Because obviously to have a space
Right.
for your parents to move into would be
Right.
now
A bigger lot.
6
Yeah.
or 7 bedroom house, or perhaps maybe if the lot was
Yeah,
bigger.
and that's more idealistic. That may not happen, but,
but
it's just,
the lot might factor into it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And the kids could stay in the kids could bunk into the same room if they need to, and we could I like my parents live about an hour and a half away. I like when they can come up and just
Okay.
have a place to stay.
Where do your parents live?
They live in McDonald, Pennsylvania, so it's
Oh,
about,
yeah.
about an hour south of here.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. And I would keep going, by the way. And I don't have a pencil and
Right.
paper. I really need to capture this in writing so I can read it back
Yeah,
to you.
read
So
back to you. Yep.
help me out here. So you said going in that the most important thing to you was that the house was sturdy, a good
Yep.
roof, a good foundation.
Yep.
Beyond the obvious reasons, why is that particular one so important to you?
Home repairs are just costly. We had a little starter home that we bought for pretty cheap, but it just, man, there's so many things. Water would be literally shooting through the walls, which wasn't good. We did some mold testing, and both my wife and I had mold, which is not good for your health. It was always this concern in the back of our heads of, is there going to be another repair we need to make? Are we just sinking our money into this house? They're supposed to go up in value, and they do, but are we just sinking our money into this thing that isn't really worthwhile?
It was a tough situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to stop here. Okay. What I did here, the idea behind selling, the client does not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And everything I've done shows how much I care.
Yeah.
Even to the point of getting your name and writing it down, writing down your wife's name, showing respect for her. She may not even be here, but I still wrote it down.
Yep.
The children are not here. I wrote it down. Being able, and at some point in the future, I'll be able to say, what's Josiah going to think about this bedroom here?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, he'll love this. So by showing how much I care, I really do get you involved in the transaction, and it gets emotional.
Yeah.
So I did a couple of things here. Number one, I showed you that I cared. Number two, I gathered information. So now when I go show you, maybe it's this house, maybe it's another house. We'll figure, because I didn't go the whole way. But now I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to say, let me show you something. On our foundations, here's what we do. You see this over here? That's that. You see this up here? That's that. You see how this works? We have a special interlocking system that does A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I'm going to show you how this is going to work for you. Then when I get upstairs, I'm actually going to make you go up into the attic or into there's a way to get up there.
Yep.
And I'm going to show you how this is put together. And this is what protects you from the leaking. And here's the downspouts. And here's where they go. I'm going to work on that. And then the bedrooms, you better believe I'm going to tour the bedrooms.
Yep.
And I'm going to show you each bedroom. I say, now who's going to be in this one here?
Yeah.
Now that'll probably be Maribel. I'm going to get you emotionally involved. So I'm showing you how much I care. I'm figuring out what you want. I'm going to deliver on that. And then I'm going to get you emotionally involved. And believe it or not, when I started talking about the reason why for the sturdiness, you got emotional.
Yeah.
It got a little mad.
Yeah.
It gets mad. It's maddening.
Yeah. It was stressful.
So I
man.
want to bring the emotion
Yeah.
into it. And this is a process that takes time to do, but it enables me to, I'm not going to do a canned presentation. I'm going to do a Derek and Laura Kelly presentation. I'm going to provide you show you that I can provide what you want.
Yeah. And what's great is if that house didn't fit, you'd find another house on your repertoire. Right?
And I might already have another house. I really do. Because we have multiple houses, and that's why I asked you these questions.
Set are you on this one?
Yeah, there may be another house. Like I'm automatically thinking bigger lot, and this is a really small lot. So you said what you said about your parents, and you may not value that very much right now. We'll find out as we go through the process.
Yeah.
But we could look and say, well, there's this lot over here. This is 1/4 of an acre, which is nice. It's a nice yard. But if you think about it with the kids, if we had an acre,
right.
well, the kids are going to have a lot more, believe there's a lot more fun time for them to do what they want.
But then you can have the value and say the price will be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, but here's where you could put the apartment type thing for your parents, and how important is that to you? And it turns out that's really important, or it's not as important. It's always going to be important, but it's not a priority. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So you think I can do this with anything, anywhere, anyhow?
Yeah,
you betcha.
It's smart.
You betcha.
Because there's a process that you've just learned for sales, right? Because somebody asked me, they're like, why doesn't Jim just talk about selling cars? And I'm like, we could do a whole video on how to sell an extended warranty. Maybe we should do that at some point. But I think you're one of the greatest salesmen I've ever met because you understand how to sell and I connect with people.
The bottom line, if you want to be a great salesperson, the bottom line is get connected to your client on an emotional level, find out what they want, find out why they want it, and then provide it.
Yeah.
And then charge them for it.
Right.
And they understand it. They're not coming in here thinking you're going to give them a free house. They're not thinking that. But if we can see, I'm a big believer in value up selling versus price down selling. So many people in our industry, the car business, they think price sell. If you ever hear that price sells cars, no, it doesn't. Value sells cars. Stop the nonsense. Price does not sell cars. If the car's 10 grand and you created $9,000 worth of value, you're going to basically have a no sell situation. If the car's 20 grand and you created 25 grand worth of value, they're going to say, why so cheap? I get all this for 25 grand. That's how you present it for 20 grand. Excuse me. That's how you present it, with value. I know it's more than what you want to spend, Derek, but you said you were concerned about safety. And look at all these safety features. I know it's more than what you want to spend, Derek. I understand that. But what about the room for Josiah and Maribel and Aria?
Yep. You got it.
And Laura.
Yep.
I know it's more money, but didn't you say you wanted that car to be safe for your wife to drive it? So this has this, that, and the other thing. Didn't you say that?
Yeah.
Weren't you concerned about gas mileage? Weren't you concerned about maintenance? This has this. Here's the warranty. I'm going to come back at you with value, not with price cuts.
Wow.
When you tell me the price is too high, my answer might be, if the price is, you say it to me.
Price is too high, Jim.
No, it's not. It's not high enough. It's not high enough.
Why is that?
Because it's worth more than what I told you. It's not price isn't high enough. It's not prices. This price isn't too high. You get all this stuff. I forgot to tell you about the special thing in the back that does the one thing that you didn't really. Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. What about the radio the thing has?
Right.
My goodness gracious. You like good music?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
let's go listen to the radio one more time.
Throw on some Rocky.
It's not high enough, man. I've given you a great deal here. It's got everything you want. You told me what you wanted coming in. Have I provided? Have we left anything out?
No.
Is there anything that you really want that you forgot about?
Nope.
Is there anything missing on the car?
I don't think so.
Yeah. The price is not too high. The price is really good. That's how we do business here at the Jim Shrugi Family Auto Group. And if anything, the price isn't high enough. So let's just leave it at where it's at.
Yes.
And let's do some business.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
My pleasure.
Wow. You guys just saw in both those scenarios, just Jim taking care of people and understanding what they want. Because if somebody came in and they really wanted to buy a house that was a 1-bedroom and they just needed something small because they didn't have kids, like just a different scenario and their needs are very different. So he's not going to sell them a 1-acre lot with a 4 or 5-bedroom house if they don't need that. That wouldn't make any sense.
No, unless and maybe it was the only house we had, and it does have the 1-acre lot. That's the one downside. And then it's surprisingly, even though they don't want it now, the wife might say, you know what, I really do want to have a garden someday. Not now, but down the road as I age.
And we can grow
so
into
we
this
have
house.
that.
Yeah, we can grow into this house. We may have kids in the future.
I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to try to give them exactly what they want for a reasonable price. And that's what I'm going to do. And if there's some extras, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
You said 5 bedrooms. Maybe it has 6, and that's too many.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something else that can be done with the 6th room. And that's where we get creative as a salesperson.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be a den. Maybe this could be a study.
Yep.
Maybe this could be all kinds of things. Maybe it could be a place where an exercise room. That's a good idea. We have an exercise room in this house, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it could be a bedroom. It's Amy and I. And we don't need another bedroom. We got enough. You only sleep in one bed at a time.
Yeah.
So we have an exercise room that would serve very well to be a bedroom. And so we didn't buy the house because of that room. Amy made it into an exercise room. Cool.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Pleasure.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.